Today we're going to talk about 5 drinks that can help remove fat from your liver. Your liver is an organ in your body. It's one of the largest organs in your body, and it actually plays an absolutely critical role to detoxify your body, but it does it through your blood. So your blood sends a huge amount of volume into your liver. Your liver actually filters it, and the cells in your liver actually basically clean your blood, remove those toxins, and send it on its way to actually go get more oxygen and nutrients being pumped out.
Meet Dr. William Li, an internationally renowned physician, scientist, and author, best known for his groundbreaking work in angiogenesis and its impact on health and disease prevention. As the founder of the Angiogenesis Foundation, Dr. Li focuses on understanding how blood vessel health can influence cancer, cardiovascular conditions, diabetes, and obesity. He is a popular speaker and advocate for food as medicine, emphasizing how dietary choices can activate the body's natural defense systems. Dr. Li's best-selling book, Eat to Beat Disease, explores how everyday foods can help prevent and fight illness, empowering individuals to optimize their well-being.
The liver actually has some fat in it, and it actually can hold on to fat. So when you have more fat than your body can store, it winds up actually being sent over to the liver. So think about the liver as kind of a storage area for extra fat. And you can just build up there until your body needs that fuel, which comes in the form of fat, and burns it right down. All right, so we're going to come into this a little bit more, but your liver's basically main function is to cleanse and detoxify your body. So what's the connection between fat, body fat, and liver, like liver fat? So I'm going to actually walk you through what happens when you actually eat and how your liver plays a role when it comes to fat. When you actually eat food, all right, whatever it is, even healthy foods, you're eating your food, you're chewing it, it's going down into your system, you're digesting it, your metabolism, your body's hardwired to take the energy from the food that you've eaten and store it in your muscles, use it in the blood, and anything extra can be stored into body fat. The body fat can store it anywhere. It can store it under your skin, subcutaneous fat. It can store it into the center of your body. Okay, the tube of your body can have fat. It's called visceral fat. A little bit of visceral fat is normal. It's a storage area. A lot of visceral fat is dangerous. It doesn't matter how big you are. You could be real thin and have a skinny tube of your body, but it can be packed with fat.
Visceral fat and subcutaneous fat are 2 types of body fat that differ in location, function, and health implications. Visceral fat. This fat surrounds internal organs in the abdominal cavity. It is considered more harmful because it is metabolically active, producing hormones and inflammatory substances that can increase the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and certain cancers. Subcutaneous fat. This fat lies just beneath the skin and is typically less dangerous. It serves as an energy reserve and provides insulation and cushioning for the body. While excess subcutaneous fat can contribute to obesity-related health risks, it is generally less associated with serious metabolic diseases compared to visceral fat. Managing overall body fat through a healthy lifestyle can help reduce both types, but visceral fat is often the primary target for improving health.
This study in Iran, it looked at 70 women who were in a diabetic clinic with metabolic syndrome, gave the women 7 ounces of green tea. That's just under a fluid cup of green tea, not very much, in fact. And they gave it to them to drink 3 times a day for 8 weeks. All right, and there's another placebo group that just got lukewarm water. The tea drinkers basically drank their tea, sort of breakfast, lunch, and in the afternoon. And at the end of 8 weeks, the tea drinkers lost 2 pounds, and they also shrank their waist circumference by almost an inch. And that means that visceral fat got burned down. Click, 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 whoosh. Green tea activates the brown fat. The brown fat burns down the fuel, burns away the fat, and guess what? Your waist circumference shrinks when you're losing excess body fat. This is the kind of thing that you can actually use to unpack your liver, unburden body fat in your liver. Now, in this study, the women who had green tea also had lower blood pressure, they had better fasting glucose, it's a sign of metabolic health, and they actually had better blood lipids as well, blood cholesterol. Now, these are all helpful signs that you're losing excess body fat and having a better metabolism. All right, this is going to be helpful if you want to, if you're battling with a fatty liver and you want to actually turn away from it. This is the kind of thing that you actually want to do, lose some excess body fat.
Green tea is a widely consumed beverage known for its numerous health benefits, thanks to its rich content of antioxidants, particularly catechins like EGCG. These compounds help reduce inflammation, support heart health by improving cholesterol levels and blood pressure, and may lower the risk of certain cancers. Green tea is also associated with improved brain function, aiding focus, and potentially reducing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Additionally, it supports weight management by boosting metabolism and fat oxidation. Its calming amino acid, L-theanine, promotes relaxation and stress reduction without causing drowsiness.
Now, these tea studies were not done in people with fatty liver, but the principles are the same. Fatty liver, you got way too much fat in your body. You can burn it off by eating, by exercising, by motion. You can also eat a little bit less. But if you want a little extra help with beverages, green tea is one of those that can actually help you burn down harmful body fat. And by the way, it's not just green tea. Beverage number 2, coffee, my favorite, all right? Now, coffee has been studied a lot for metabolism. It's definitely helpful for metabolism. It definitely burns body fat. And the way that coffee does this is that it activates brown fat thermogenesis, just like green tea. So coffee with chlorogenic acid, one of its bioactives, activates your brown fat. That's the useful fat around the side of your neck, behind your breastbone, a little bit behind your shoulder blades, a little bit in your belly, and it fires it up, click, 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 whoosh. And then your brown fat is generating heat, and it's powering itself with fuel, and it's stealing from your visceral fat, your harmful fat. Activated brown fat burns down harmful, unwanted fat, unburdens your body of fat. That's really good if you're really trying to counter a fatty liver. Now, the other thing about coffee and chlorogenic acid is that it actually prompts your body to make even more brown fat. Put more gas burners on your stove. All right, now it's not click, 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 whoosh with one. You want 6 burners, you want 8 burners. Coffee will actually give you lots of burners to be able to draw more fuel. And in fact, there have been clinical studies that show that this actually works. In fact, one involved 504 people, and they're all coming from Indonesia, and it showed that drinking coffee drinkers actually had less body fat. And by the way, although caffeine can stimulate your metabolism as well, in this study from Indonesia of coffee drinking, they were able to remove the caffeine, and they found even without caffeine, coffee, the chlorogenic acid, would fire up your brown fat and actually cause you to lose weight.
Caffeine from coffee enhances the breakdown of fat by releasing stored fatty acids from fat tissues, making them available as an energy source. It also promotes thermogenesis, the process where the body generates heat and burns calories. Additionally, coffee may improve exercise performance by increasing energy and endurance, indirectly contributing to fat loss.
Beverage number 3, tomato juice. Tomatoes and their juice contain something called lycopene. Lycopene is a bioactive, a natural chemical, and it's a carotenoid. It helps to make tomatoes and other foods red in color. And tomatoes with lycopene have been shown to activate your, you guessed it, brown fat thermogenesis. All right, you can trigger on brown fat thermogenesis and burn down extra brown fat. In fact, there was a study from Portugal that gave just one ripe tomato to a bunch of young women in grad school before lunch to eat every day for like 30 days. And guess what they found? That nothing else changed. Just giving that one tomato would cause them to lose body fat, and they would lose their visceral fat, their waist size would actually shrink a little bit, and all of their metabolic parameters would increase. So just like all the other foods I talked about, the beverages, green tea, coffee, tomato juice will actually do the same with the lycopene from tomato. Now, research from China have looked at 25 women who were normal weight, and what they did is they gave 1.2 cups, all right, 1 1/5 cups of tomato juice to drink every day for 8 weeks, all right? So think about this as a breakfast tomato juice. A cup is a little bit more than a cup, not very much. And at the end of the study, guess what? They found these women actually lost weight, shrank their waist circumference. And when these researchers looked at the blood of the tomato juice drinker, they actually found that there was also a decrease in the inflammatory marker. In this case, the inflammatory marker is called MCP1. That's an inflammatory marker. And by the way, excess body fat is inflammatory. So this is another example where body fat went down, you measured in weight, you measured in waist circumference, you measured it in the inflammatory marker associated with fat as well. And that was just a little bit more than a cup a day of tomato juice.
Tomato juice is a nutrient-rich beverage packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that offer numerous health benefits. It is an excellent source of vitamin C, which supports immune health, and potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure, linked to reduced risk of heart disease, certain cancers, and improved skin health. Its anti-inflammatory properties may support overall well-being, and the natural fiber content aids digestion. Low in calories but high in nutrients, tomato juice is a healthy addition to a balanced diet.
Beverage number 4 is watermelon juice. Watermelon, which has got red flesh. Remember I told you the lycopene helps to provide color. Watermelon has lycopene. It's got a lot of fluid in it, which is good, but it's also got lycopene in it. A lot of people don't know this, but watermelons were not originally, they came from Africa, but they were not originally red. I think they were yellow, and they weren't sweet. They were just used for water, for hydration and the hot environment. But over time, they got bred to be red and sweet, and that redness actually brought with it lycopene. Now, researchers have been looking at watermelon juice, and here's what they found. They found that homemade watermelon juice, that means you get fresh watermelon, you chunk it up, you put it into a blender, okay, and you puree it. Can make about 3.5 cups of juice this way. These researchers did 3.5 cups of juice, but that drinking that watermelon juice for 3 weeks could double the amount of lycopene, that fat-fighting substance in your blood, because it's in your blood where it goes to work, all right? So watermelon juice actually is a good way to get more lycopene into your body. Have some tomato juice for breakfast, have some watermelon juice for lunch, or in the afternoon.
Watermelon juice is a refreshing and hydrating drink loaded with essential nutrients and antioxidants. It is an excellent source of vitamins A and C, which support immune function, skin health, and vision. Rich in lycopene, it provides antioxidant and anti-inflammatory benefits, potentially reducing the risk of heart disease and certain cancers. Its high water content and natural electrolytes, like potassium, help maintain hydration and support muscle function. Watermelon juice is also a natural source of citrulline, an amino acid that may enhance blood flow, improve exercise performance, and reduce muscle soreness.
The 5th beverage is drinking water. And clinical studies have taken a look at what happens when you drink water. It's more than you think. Like, water is good for hydration, all right? But it turns out that if you actually drink water, it stretches your stomach out when you're drinking water before a meal. And when your stomach's stretched out, it sends a signal to your brain, hey, we're kind of filled up here, so don't get too hungry. So you can actually blunt your appetite just by drinking water before a meal. That means less calories are going to go in. All right, so drinking water actually can provide that. The other thing that's really interesting is that drinking water triggers thermogenesis. Now, this has been studied. We believe that it's because there's temperature sensors that are in our stomach. So you drink water, glug, 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 goes down into your stomach. It's sitting in your stomach. Guess what? Water tends to be cool or cold. It activates the temperature sensors in your stomach, and all of a sudden your body goes, whoa, near my core, I got cold water. I got to fire up. I got to fire up to heat it up because I don't want to have a cold core. What does that firing up mean? Thermogenesis, all right? And so researchers in Germany have looked at this. They actually found that drinking just 2 cups of water caused an increase in metabolism by 30%. Increased metabolism by 30%, you're burning down fat, you're actually firing up your thermogenesis. Brown fat fights white fat, good fat fights bad fat, you're burning down fat, and now you're actually in better shape. This is just drinking water, all right? Just to warm yourself up. Plus the idea of stretching out your stomach so that you're gonna be feeling more full, so you'll be less tempted to overeat. Remember, the number 1 cause of fatty liver in this country is actually overeating. So this is a good way water actually helps to circumvent that, counter that. So now this whole thing about drinking cold water and your body having to heat it up to actually body temperature in order to not freeze your core, scientists have actually calculated this. If you drank 6 cups of water every day for a year, 6 cups of water every day for a year, you would burn, on just to warm that water up, you'd burn 17,400 calories just for warming up that water, all right? And that's the energy equivalent of 5 pounds of body fat. That's what we're talking about here. Water fills you up as well, so you're less likely to eat. And then on top of that, it actually requires some energy, some fuel that you can burn away some of that excess body fat in order to be able to warm it up.